should have done that. I'll give them 2 minutes. Anybody here for the first time?
You're working, right?
Yeah, right? That's what I thought. Okay, I'm gonna have.
people do. It could be IT.
Fill out this application form. Everybody getting the emails and the text fine? Those work?
Yeah.
Good.
Do you have to pay for
Am I
that stuff?
harassing you with the text?
No.
No,
Yes.
do they actually remind you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Did you have to pay for that service?
We get 500 free texts a month. So if we get to the point where we have a cajillion people, then we're gonna have to make some money somehow. Pay for this. I don't wanna do it.
I have no money right now.
That's one of that stuff. Oh, so Sarah, how am I supposed to log into this? I don't know, it's the wrong password. Do I just use my school stuff? I've never used it before.
That's like your My Fair Name password.
Okay. It's all connected.
Spanish, or learn Spanish. Like, after a 15 thing where I say sentences, memorize them.
Wait till 5:05.
15 sentences.
I want to hear your fast opportunity.
If they show up late, it's over. Disqualified.
Disqualified?
I make that as me and Sarah are
Well, I will.
initiated in.
Since I'm running, I'm not going to be that guy, but it doesn't really matter, you know?
Vice president.
For that, you have to put student back, or, yeah,
Student.
before your username, you have to type student. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
That's right, IT.
So you
yeah.
can.
Oh, you guys work at IT? Yeah,
Oh, okay.
really
I've
great.
never seen that before.
Yeah, we have enough manpower right now.
Good stuff. Wait, what is there?
We could fix any computer in here.
And then our name works. But then you got real jobs, so you out of there, you're like, bye.
Isn't like a lot of IT department just non-CS majors?
Decent amount of them, yeah. There's like, you got, yeah, there's some people that are BIT, some are education.
And ones I know, a couple of
Why
my
won't
friends
this
are
work?
history.
Did I use the wrong slash? That's a backslash, right?
It's the one that's above
The other
enter.
one.
Huh?
It's the one that's above enter. I don't know. I'm sure that is that backslash, forward slash, I don't know.
The back.
It's backslash.
Sure, let's go with that.
I don't know why it's welcoming you. You didn't put in a password.
Yeah, I know. I clicked. Enter by that.
He gets logged in.
My bad.
Yeah, seriously. You can use that for like any. You just put backslash and it just works for all the student passwords.
Oh, we just learned that in
I come there in gifts.
Oh, awesome. Hey. He wins. Thanks, Dave.
Are you guys still from the jiu-jitsu?
A little bit.
So I don't know if you guys got the email. I left the first 10 minutes of class. If you guys wanted to talk about running for office.
Yeah.
If you wanted,
Okay.
Let's go, Tim.
we need a couple of, yeah, class. This is class.
Wow.
Second.
You need a couple minutes, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'll be,
I just ran from like McCarthy, so.
yeah, I just got to sprint up the hill. That was nice for me.
I walked down from upstairs watching
Nice.
videos. So I was also thinking, can anyone rap?
No.
Why?
I can't rap, but if someone can rap, we should have a introduction video for our club and just us rapping about CS.
We should all do it one line each.
Someone write that for us.
I do shitty beatbox.
Yeah, there we go. We got a beatbox shit.
Really bad, but you
Todd's
know.
gonna be our main rapper. I do.
Where you got the idea from?
No, I literally was just like.
Ethan, if you make the beat, I could do it.
You wanna rap?
Yeah.
Alright. Do it. Eric's gonna throw it on the beatboxing skills.
Oh no.
Miz. Armin's gonna rap. Sherwood's gonna produce it. He's gonna put it on Ball's TV. And we're set.
ready, Chris? I'm just pulling stuff
Yeah.
up, so don't.
That's okay.
Huh?
Gives you a
Yeah,
high
I
top.
know, but, you know, we don't have any money, so we can't buy it. It still works.
Alright, so for those of you who don't know me, I know I've had class with a few of you. My name is Tim Squadrito, I'm a CSG major, I'm a sophomore, I transferred here from Wentworth. So basically why I'm running for president of this club is I feel that one, as a club, we can work together with the CS department to make them, like, make it better, I guess. And two, there's not too much, like, not too many people on campus know about the CS department, they don't really know what we do. So this would be a good way for us to like have events and show them what kind of stuff we do, what we're about, what we learn, and maybe more people would decide to join CS department, CS club. It'd also be a good way for us to get more funding for well, I guess as a club we can raise funds for the department, but we can also go on trips of our own. So we can go coding competitions, could actually probably host a few here and have other schools show up. I know that we have a CS seminar for co-op where they do site visits, but that's only like, what, once a week? Or something? I don't know. Has anybody taken it? I'm taking
They
it.
go, they go like 4 times a semester to a site.
Yeah, but it only happens like,
Once a week, isn't it?
yeah, it's
The
a once a week
The class?
course.
The class is just to help you build your resume
Yeah.
for a job.
Yeah, the class
So
itself.
they don't go on too many site visits, we could raise funds to go on more.
Yeah, they don't force you to go either.
Yeah,
You can
no,
choose to
like-
go. So, and it's like, I think when I took it, which was last semester, there was 5 site visits for the whole semester.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be in the class to go to them.
Right.
Connie sends out an email.
Yep.
You guys all get them. She's like, hey, come with us. And then everybody's like, oh, I'm just going to go to the next email.
Yeah.
So,
Honestly, she's really mad that you guys ignore her emails. Just so you guys know.
Yeah, I know.
so anyways, I know that we also talked about last meeting some project ideas, so like building, club website, obviously, because we need that, and the FSU Stack Overflow idea. So with that, I feel like it would work, but at the same time, if anybody's used Stack Overflow, it's like any question that you have has pretty much already been answered on there. And I just feel like we could make something slightly different from Stack Overflow. So have it still be for FSU students only and make it honestly whatever we want it to be. So so basically, back to making the department better, one thing I've noticed from my experience is Intro to Unix is one of the worst classes ever, because the server is awful. So, instead of using a server, we could have everybody dual boot their laptop with some Linux distribution and run the commands that way, because that way the VI editor wouldn't lag out. All your stuff would be local, so you wouldn't need internet to do
The
it.
school needs like a. Can you get like a VMware?
And you'd probably learn more, because I have my laptop, it's
Just
running
using
only
VirtualBox?
Debian right now,
I used
and
so.
I've learned a lot more about Linux and Unix from
I
that
don't
than I've
really
learned
like
in
having it
Christmas
on my
class.
computer.
So that's one thing, that was my first idea for making the department better.
You just have a
was
server that
push to
runs
have that
Linux.
change in that
Your
class.
voice is going to overlap.
And yeah, but as like more about me, I'm sorry, this is kind of like all over the place. I didn't really prepare too much. More about me. So, like I said, I transferred from Wentworth. So for CS, I know about 8 or 9 languages, just like basics in them. That's including Java, C, and C++. Hardware-wise, I've built both my own computer and my friend's computer, and I worked in my town, like in the school system, going around fixing teachers' computers. Usually it was just turn it off and on again, but yeah. So as far as running a club goes, while I was at Wentworth, I co-founded a video game club specifically for League of Legends, of course.
Yes. Sorry. Like I said.
Because I was part of the gaming club there, and it was slowly turning into League Club, and they didn't want that. So me and my friends, we co-founded League of Legends Club, and that actually really took off. So that's as far as running a club goes. I've never really been like in charge of something. I feel like it'd be fun learning experience for me. Oh, and also, like I mentioned last time, I'm currently building my own Linux-based OS, and I feel like I heard like a lot of you were like, "Oh, I want to help." That specific one, that's mine. I'm working on that myself, but I feel like we could work on one for the school in the club, and that way you guys could learn how to do it, and we could probably, instead of having dual boot Linux for Unix, we could give them a whole new server that's free and they don't have to deal with copyright issues. So, yeah, vote Tim Squad Burrito for pretzels.
What happened?
Oh yeah, guys, feel free to help yourself to those snacks and drinks anytime.
Yeah, thank you.
So, I have to mess around or you guys sit back. Sorry.
I'm not trying to bribe you guys, don't worry.
She's probably.
Anyways, my name is Monica Siever. I am like a sophomore, like I switched from biology, so I'm a little bit behind, but like, I came here at 17, so I'm technically not behind. But anyways, I'm running for secretary, and I've had a ton of experience like managing stuff. Not specifically clubs, it's just like I've been manager of a lot of places. So like I know how to organize things. I know how to like get people to do a specific thing without them feeling like they're being poked into it. And I've also done a lot of graphic design, so like for club advertisements, I got you. As far as like ideas for the club, I feel like, this is just me, I feel like we should really make, like, this is to improve the CS department, I don't know, but I'm really bad at public speaking, so.
It's all good.
We're all friends here.
No, like, I'm just like.
We'll judge you after class.
No, like, I'm just public speaking stuff.
Wait, can I get credits for this?
But, my idea for the CS department was to try and make GUI a required part of the CSG major, because I feel like it's really, really, really important to know how to do that, because nobody wants to pay money for a command line program if they don't know how to use a computer. Like, if I tried to sell, like, my dad a command line program, he wouldn't buy it. And I feel like it would help everybody in their careers and just in programming, because it's just a good thing to know. Like, I didn't take the class last year, but I watched him do it. It was so good.
Such a fun class.
It looked like so much fun. And my other idea for the club was to like hold competitions, but also like make it fun. Like, you know, like bring snacks and stuff. Like have it be like have nights where you can just like come together and write programs and not necessarily even have like a competitive aspect to it. Just like do something fun as a group. And yeah. So yeah, that's another thing. I was just very nervous. Like, I thought this whole thing out in my head, and then I got up here and I forgot everything. And I was, sorry.
It's okay, take your time.
And I'd also like be willing to like teach everybody a little bit about like graphic design, because that's another thing that you can do in CS. Graphic design is important because you want your stuff to come out looking aesthetic, and if it doesn't look aesthetic, people are gonna be like, why does it look like that? And you're gonna be like, I don't know how to do it. But yeah, so vote me for secretary because I'll be really organized and I won't mess up, I promise.
Sherman, you want to go? No?
Armin, do you want to talk?
I'm right here, dude. Wait up.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Do you want to?
Sure.
I think you guys have heard me enough, and I probably have an unfair advantage anyway. So you guys just like, I've been sending all the emails and stuff, so I just. Sarah and Ethan already win. Nobody wanted to go against them.
Alright, so my name is Armin Asadishan, and I'm a software engineer certification student. So I've already graduated from college from Fitchburg State University, the other FSU. We're a little bit better, but no offense. The three things I want to emphasize is that my networking skills. I have 3 years experience as a secretary from other clubs from Fitchburg State University. And my last one is, trust me, I have more times on my hands than any of you here. Because I'm taking one class, I'm taking one class per semester, because each class $1,000. IT doesn't pay me enough, okay? So let's first emphasize on my level of experience. So I've been a secretary of Asian Cultural Society from Fitchburg State University, the World Integrated Nations, and I was in a dance club. And yeah.
Let's see.
No. But anyway, so I have 3 years experience in those, and as a secretary, my task in those clubs was it was like half secretary and half public relations. So I had to kind of like attract, people to come to our club. So an example, for a non-profit called Luck, my task was to recruit as many individuals as possible to their mentoring program. The average for the other, my other coworkers was 10 per month. But I like to exceed expectations, and I recruited over 60. And that was in just 1 month of working there. So my level of experience in secretary and stuff, I don't want to be cocky, but just being honest, I have a lot of experience, 3 years experience. And my note taking is beautiful. Hey, don't look at my notes. My note taking is great. So I have 3 years experience in secretary from other clubs. I can use that experience and transfer it over to the CS club. The next thing I want to emphasize is I have a lot of time on my hands. So, taking one class, working part-time at IT, I wish it was full-time, but it's being recorded, so I shut my mouth. But, so I work in IT part-time, and I take one class. In the meantime, I go to events like this. Can you guys see it? Hackathon?
No.
You can't see it? What are you talking about? Major League Hacking, yeah, like MLG, but a little bit nerdier. different level of nerd. But anyway, so I go to these events every now and then, and I gain a lot of experience, and I network a lot. That's my other emphasis, my networking skills. So I've already made friends with the people from they're from the college of Brandeis University. Is that how you pronounce it? Brandeis. Cool. Okay, so I went over there, and I networked with the people that hold it, and I met a lot of great people and told me about different hackathons that you can go to. So I have their network on LinkedIn and such, and I always keep tabs with them. I do like informational interviews and such, so I keep in touch with them. So I have my networking skills everywhere I go. I try to meet at least 5 new people. So you guys saw me, shaking your hand and everything. I'm trying to get you to know me. So okay. So those are my 3 levels of experience. And for myself, programming-wise, I'm still you play League of Legends, right, Tim? I'm like a bronze, okay? So, for you guys don't know, I'm still like a beginner, but because I'm taking CS1 right now. But the whole point of this club is to work with everyone from different expertise to get us come together and learn something new. So my level of experience will be a little bit irrelevant in terms of programming, but as a secretary, because that's the position I'm running for, I have that experience, and I can definitely prove it. That's it.
Alright, cool. You guys did an awesome job.
Speed talk, man.
I'm not sure how many offices we can all have, maybe we'll talk about it after, because anybody who would like to help in that type of capacity, we'd love to have you. So we'll talk about, some other things, if you win, lose, draw, whatever, doesn't really matter. Let's see. Sarah, how much, you need more time, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Sarah's gonna talk about the Constitution. So we're trying to put together a Constitution, not so that we look whatever, so that we have some ground rules, so that everything runs properly and we get things done. I wanted to talk about project scopes. We talked about a couple of different projects. A lot of them were like Java-based, apps and stuff like that, which Professor Jung is gonna head a lot of those. The problem with those are really high-level classes, so Professor Jung, he suggests that it'd be seniors and juniors and people with a lot of programming knowledge, start that, and it's gonna take a while, they're gonna take, 3-6 months, to finish those projects. So more than likely, we won't start those projects this semester, and they'll be for the second semester, unless we maybe we can start a little bit and stuff like that. I thought it would be smarter for us to knock off some of these smaller projects. Most of them will be like the web design ones. And that's what I wanted to talk about for just 5 minutes. What I thought was a good idea, and we talked about it last class, and I've also talked about it with Sarah, is finding some local nonprofits. Can you guys see this, or is it, you need the lights off, or is it?
Yeah, you need the lights
don't need
off
to see too much.
for the camera.
Huh?
You need the lights off for the camera. It's
For the
too
camera?
it's too light.
We'll take off one light. Right.
Set the mood.
Is that good enough?
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah, that's good.
That's cool? So we looked at a couple, we found was it an MSPCA, was it, the website? I lost the website, I think I emailed it, for the,
Capsule?
yeah, the show,
It's the Metro West, Humane Society.
Metro West Humane Society. There are a number of, I work with a lot of basketball clubs and stuff like that, so there's a number of nonprofits that do things like that, and we can find whatever we want. And my main idea is to take a lot of these older websites and change them to have responsive web design. And I think that'd be something good for us to learn. We can learn stuff like Git that we were talking about, so we can kind of work in groups. And I think it would be a good way to raise funding too. So you guys can, we can have a poll and decide that. I think instead of charging them to do their sites, we just ask for a donation, and whatever they want to give, we can use for the club, to put out there. And I'm pretty sure people will be happy, those 100, 500, whatever they throw out. I think that'd be a good idea. So, does anybody have any experience with responsive web design? CSS? Okay, so everybody has experience with CSS, kind of? Okay, CSS is cascading style sheets, and all it is, it allows you to style multiple pages of a website without having to change each one of them. Kind of like a Java variable, if you will. So responsive web design, the basis of it is, instead of using things like pixels, which are fixated, we use things like percent. So your banner, instead of being 500 pixels, it'll be 50%. And that's what a lot of them were before, like old tables and stuff like this. This is 300 pixels by 800 pixels. So when you scale the website, what's a really old website that I can find? When you scale the websites, they don't scale. Well, I'm going to show you some websites that do scale because of what's called media queries. So if the browser window gets to a certain spot, we can use media queries to actually change what the website looks like. So for instance, usually there's like a regular laptop view. There is a tablet view for iPads and stuff like that, and then there's a mobile phone view because for the most part we're all on our phones looking at stuff. Right? So as you move the browser, you can see how that it scales. You see from here to here. The height of this banner changes dramatically, so it's easy to view on tablets. And then when you get like all the way down here, you have this little menu that pops down. And I thought that'd be a great thing because we're not really recreating the wheel, we're just taking their current website, redesigning it, and giving it back to them. And I think that's stuff we can crank out 2-3 weeks max. And we can do a handful of them, and we can have certain people work on, we probably have about 25 members, so even if 10 of them, we can knock out 2-3 groups and also work on our own side as well. So I'm going to send a couple of different links. We don't have time to teach everything in class, So maybe some videos and stuff like that so you guys can get some knowledge. And then when we put together the teams, when we put together the teams, then we can learn a little bit more, outside of the meetings. And so this was a nice little blog that I found from Team Treehouse. I'm a member of there. But this one's free, and it explains a little bit about responsive web design and why you should have it. Instead of, I've just seen some sites, they have like a mobile version and a regular version. Well, that doesn't really happen anymore because there's so many.
A good way to also show our code is JS Fiddle.
JS Fiddle?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
So, lost my train of thought there a little bit.
Sorry.
Okay, so it basically talks about fluid images, fluid tables, and then media queries. So this little thing right here is a media query. So you can set like a minimum width that something, a certain style would be. If there's a banner that's too big, you can like clear it all together so it doesn't show on, the regular site and stuff like that. And I just think that'd be a really, really good way to go ahead and, start knocking off some projects, learning some skills. Go ahead, Aaron.
This is all part of CSS? So it's in the CSS itself, or is it
Yep,
something
it's in the CSS itself. So this right here would be inside the CSS, this media query. So if you say, I don't know what the average tablet size is. Let's
So you-
say it's like 400 pixels or whatever, however they measure it.
So you wouldn't have to use PHP to detect the what's coming into your website?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, I believe it's CSS 3. No,
CSS level 1 to 3 might be
those are 3, you
controlled
can use
there.
media queries.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely, yeah. And I have one extra question. Did you talk to that organizations already?
I have not, so I thought that was, well, I've talked to one, the one that I'm actually close with. So I thought that's also another part of it, so we could set like a site site visits, so that we can go either meet with them or call them on the phone and stuff like that. But I wanted to decide as a group who we help, it's our time. I didn't want to be like, okay, we're doing this, this, and that. So you guys can decide, if you have anything in the area. I'm from Boston, so I have things close in myself, so it doesn't have to be here and stuff like that. But anything that you believe in and you think we can learn a little bit from, I think it'd be a good double whammy to knock off both. How's that sound? Cool. Good?
Okay, yeah. I will talk at last. Okay, so you
Okay. So, what time is it? I wanted to kind of get some groups together. I don't know if we're gonna have enough time for that. I'm gonna let Sarah talk a little bit briefly about the Constitution. She's redoing the Constitution and integrating some rules and stuff like that. And after that, she'll make like a first draft. And if we have anything as a group that you guys want to say, well, I'm not doing that, then we can change altogether. Cool? Thanks. You gonna have a laptop? Yeah, just throw it on the floor. It's okay.
So you guys can stop me anytime if you want to make a comment or something. I took the old constitution and made changes to it. Let's see. I'm just gonna go over it briefly because it's a long document. And, oh, okay, that kind of works. I like this.
Sure, man. How do you zoom?
Zoom?
Yeah.
It's the button. Goes back and forth.
I don't want to turn it off.
On the top?
Yes, sir. Also, you have the right idea.
Yeah, okay. So.
That's cool.
Constitution of Computer Science. So here are the articles, and we can go into one of each of them briefly. So our name obviously is Computer Science Club. Purpose is first to share creative ideas through project development and to produce the software that's useful and using what we learned. And the second purpose is to provide academic as well as social support. And so you can have lectures and workshops about things we've learned and things like that. Membership, club is open to all students of FSU, whether or not you're a CS major. The club, because the whole point is to learn stuff together. The club shall not discriminate against anyone, obviously. Membership allows one to vote and join a project group. Membership duties, so you're expected to attend, all our meetings. And so right now we have it as we'll just contact you if you notice you're being inactive, but we might want to formalize that, I'm not too sure. And members assigned to club projects are required to assist with them and work on the project, and members are not required to be part of a project to be a member, but you're still required to show up and be involved. Yeah, that's it. So officers, so we decided that of adding the possibility of having project leads as club officers. So if you notice that you're leading the way for your project, if we have like, let's say 2 simultaneous projects going on, I don't know how we're gonna structure that later, but we're opening up the possibility of having 2 more officers. I'm not sure if we can, so Sherman's gonna check if we can have 6 total officers in the club, but it would be nice to have an actual position where you're an officer and you're in charge of a project so that you can manage everything
Doesn't that second
and
section,
assign someone to do that.
second
So
section
you
make
must be
it
a
so you
full-time
can't,
student,
you know,
just so we can rely on you to be around, and the election of officers should be held. So this I got from the old constitution, I'm not sure,
but it said
it's
officers
probably
have
like
to be full-time
SGA
students.
or Excel who decides this, but yes, change that one below. And then section 4, if a vacancy occurs, so if Sherman can't make it or something, I'll hold his place. And then all the rest of the vacancies, so we'll have to decide who replaces me while I'm covering for Sherman or whatever. Or Tim. Sorry about that. So, duties of the officials. So the president, just briefly, be a chief executive, be at the meetings, represent the club, be in touch with administrative offices, SGA and SILD, call special meetings if necessary, meet with our advisor, Dr. Jung, take care that this constitution is actually followed, and serve as representative of our events if the advisor requests it. And so here I highlighted this because this is normally something that the secretary does, which is the secretary sends out the emails to remind you for meetings and stuff. But so far, Sherman has been doing it, so I'm not sure whose job we want that to be.
Sherman got it.
Well, we don't have a secretary or anything yet, so
Yeah.
I just did it.
So that's why it's tentative right now,
Yeah.
yeah. So me, VP, preside in the absence of the president, assume, same thing. Appoint staff besides as deemed necessary, make sure member registration, event registration, and all the necessary forms are completed. Receive suggestions for club activities, or projects basically. And then again, report to Dr. Jung and serve as representative if needed. Secretary, record minutes of all meetings, keep a file of the club's records, maintain the current roster of membership, and then here, this one again, the emails and correspondence. And apparently SGA needs a progress report each semester, so they'll do that, and same other responsibilities. And then the treasurer is supposed to keep complete and accurate accounts of the club, handle financial matters in accordance with SGA, keep an itemized account of all receipts and all whatever we spend money on, and hold responsibility for the funds. And then here we still have to define what the project lead will do and specify that. So I don't know, what are your thoughts? This is where I need your input.
Well, sure. Well, at this point, if they do have a project, if project lead is an officer and we get that as a position, they're gonna have people below them. Therefore, they will disseminate information to those people that the secretary doesn't have to do like the project lead doesn't have to go to the secretary for the secretary to send an email to everyone. They can send an email to people in their team.
Yeah.
So this lead and disseminate information. I don't know what else.
Manage the project.
Project lead is
I was
like,
thinking also, they'll be the ones who stand up and gives a status of like how the project's going and stuff.
Would the project leader change every time you have a new project, or is it the same person every time?
Yeah, probably. We were thinking of it as like,
Well.
You have to leave.
I feel, in this point, like you said, it may change, but, again, a project, I don't think we're gonna have a project lead for like, I mean, we are, but for
Exactly.
small things, these are gonna be projects that are 6 to 8 months long.
yeah.
So it's not gonna be
So
something
this
that's,
is
Oh, it's
just
8
an
months
idea.
long, you said?
If we notice
it
that
depends on the
someone
project.
is putting in a lot of effort, we wanna recognize them by giving them.
I got you.
You only really need a project lead if you have a lot of people in your group. Although, I guess you can do it
That's
for
good.
small groups, but it's better for larger groups and probably for longer projects.
Yeah,
And I feel like their responsibilities will be mainly set towards that project, and the only time that they would have to go to you guys, which are like the president stuff, is during reports about. So basically, they're almost like a mini secretary for that project.
basically. So we'll flush that out later, but I just wanted to throw that out there. And then our meetings are gonna be every Thursday, so it says during the regular school year, but I feel like it might change next semester, just we'll throw out a poll and see when
Yeah,
it's
we'll
best
just
for everyone.
decide when everybody is in the classes.
Yeah, exactly. Special meetings may be called by the president, and our monthly meeting, which we decided is gonna be, actually, I should add that, the first Friday of every month, where we'll present things we've learned during our project, and just like we said, the first half will be us kind of helping the underclassmen, like, with, you know, learning things you'll need as you go on in the program. And the second half, just hanging out basically and having a workshop. So the advisor, so just basic stuff, so must be a member of faculty or staff. We already have an advisor, so we don't really have to go over this, but maintain numerous activities, meet on a regular basis with us, so Dr. John is already doing this and more, so. Yeah. Basically, just being a connection between us and the rest of the school if necessary. So right here I have removal of officers, so the conditions under which, because I feel like the officers need stricter rules because they're put in more work and stuff. Okay. And I feel like
Ethan.
we should talk about, like, if members don't show up at all, like what happens. Yeah, but, for the officers, officer who's absent for 3 consecutive meetings without notifying anybody, will be immediately removed and will just become a regular member of the club. And then we'll have elections to replace them, basically. But yeah, as long as you let someone know, it should be okay, just don't be a stranger. So vacancy replacement, so VP takes place of president if they couldn't make it, or in the event of any other vacancies, the president will have to appoint a temporary officer. And so the temporary officer replaces the person until we elect an actual permanent person to replace them. And yeah. So within 1 month of any vacancy. Recall, so if you really don't like an officer, 3/4 of the club could vote to remove the officer and like
Wow, we could impeach
prove
people?
that, yeah, prove that like
You
you're
have
not
right
doing
to
your
do-
job.
Guys, have you heard of the poll for Sherwin?
Wait,
Yeah, that's nice.
do I have a right to bear arms too?
He has a right to bear a computer. That's what it is.
Good enough. It's my weapon.
Side note, like you guys don't have to worry about this. I'm going through it because I'm sharing it with you guys as I go as I'm writing it. But this is stuff that the president will be worrying about. Like the officer must be notified of the request at least 2 weeks prior to the meeting. You guys don't really worry about this. But the vacant position should also be filled by special election. So special elections, if there are less than 3 officers, because I think SJA requires 4 or 2, I don't know. So whoever's the highest rank at the time will have to hold a special election to fill the empty spot. Also, so this, basically, if we have to make a decision in between meetings, me and Sharon might talk or whatever, just to decide on something, then we'll tell you what we decided like in a meeting, if we had to make a decision or something. And amendments, again, also by vote, you can make a change to this amendment. And, yeah, just formal stuff. And the amendments must be proposed the meeting prior to which the vote will be held to make the amendment. So this is not completely done yet. So right now, if you have any things you want to change or add or ask about, go ahead. Okay. Cool. So that's basically it.
Alright, cool. The way it was explained to me is we only need technically 2 officers,
Yeah.
which is our president and the treasurer. And we can call our officers whatever we want, and she said we can add as many as we want. So I have to make sure that that is true.
So we can call you Lord Hacker for president?
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Emperor and Grand Inquisitor.
Nice.
Undertaker, nice.
So for the end of the class, I wanted to talk about our first big meeting, which would be the first, what date is that? I had it written down.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Am I getting class credit for this?
No, but you can be fired at any time. So our big class meeting, which will be on the first Friday.
The 4th is the
Fourth.
Yeah, fourth.
December 4th. So we have to secure a room. I think we've done a pretty good job of having people here on a week-to-week basis. And I think we're gonna get a lot of people in when we, reach out to the rest of the students. So we have to decide kind of what we like to learn. I'd like to have the first half of the meeting, I want it to be 3 hours. The first half of the meeting be, we get a professional in here to teach us some technology or some sect of technology or something like that, whether it's Unix commands, whether it's Git command line stuff, whether it's a new language. I've seen a lot of cool seminars. One of my favorite is public data hacking using Python. So guy left his suitcase on a bus, and he basically got public data from an API
Oh,
from
wow.
MBTA, parsed over that information and found out where his suitcase was. And I thought that was pretty cool. And that was done in like 45 minutes, an hour, or something like that. So whatever we kind of want to learn, or if there's any like jobs you want to go out there for, if we can find somebody in that field, and just have them come in and speak, I'm pretty sure they'll be very happy to do that. So do we have any ideas as a group? And then we can just brainstorm, and then we'll put it to a poll.
I mean, I don't have any professionals, but I would like to, Professor Gao,
Yeah.
I'd like to learn how to shortcut code, because he is so good at that.
Okay.
That's good
So good at it.
Okay. All right.
I mean, that's just a suggestion.
All right. Cool. No, I'll write that down. Shortcut code. Anything else?
Yes, for ethical hacker, Justin Armstrong, he works in the FBI.
Professor Armstrong.
No, he's not professor. He's a guy. We met in the seminar before we went to CCSC. This guy is a professional. He works in the FBI and he's studying. He works in the security for ethical hacker. So if anyone wants to learn to, I guess, hack in a
Oh,
way.
the guy from Meditech.
Yes, him. Yeah. So
I actually found something. I was looking it up too. I found something on YouTube. There's actually a course on Udemy, but like the first half of it is free on YouTube.
Yep.
I'll send that email out. Just don't hack anything and get us in trouble. Okay. Ethical.
That's good. Short code.
Anything else? Anything short kind of things? I thought something like WordPress development would be pretty cool because we learned, how to make some quick WordPress sites where people can, change their own sites and stuff like that. I think it's a good way for us on the side to personally make some money and for the club to make some money. And I think that can be done in a short time through a seminar. So I'm gonna throw that on.
That's cool. Aren't a couple things in WordPress like you have to pay for? Some of them are free.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
They're like, I don't know, like layouts and stuff like that you can buy, but you can download WordPress for free and work on it locally. And if you have a server, most of the times, you just download it to the server.
GitHub.
GitHub.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
that,
Good
I
one.
think that's a big
That's a
one.
good one.
I
because we're gonna be doing projects and sharing code, I feel like GitHub's the best
The
service
first
for
one,
it.
right? Yeah, so that'd be really good. So as a group, we all learned that because we'll be working on stuff together. So GitHub, Git, all that stuff, learning how to branch and that stuff. And that version control. Version control, for the most part. It's gonna be Git. Yeah, that's, I'm gonna put this out there. I think that's a really good one.
Yeah, I use GitHub for all my stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I've done it personally by myself, but I've never used it in a group where I'd have to branch off to something else and then merge it back on.
Yeah, when people don't
It's
know
actually
what they're
really
doing, it's
easy
a
once you
nightmare.
figure it out.
Yeah, I mean,
If you force
yeah.
force
I think
fork
just
up
learning
this
how to
code,
work with
right?
people through that would be pretty
Force
cool.
push.
When people,
That's probably
yeah,
a
when
big
people
one.
force push
Yeah.
is the
It's
worst,
probably something
especially
people
when they're
work on
like their stuff is just out of date,
figure
but
it
they're
out.
pushing anyway.
Yeah.
Anything else that you guys been kind of thinking about?
Another one, basic Linux, because,
Linux?
yeah.
Is anybody not taking Unix? Next semester?
Just as like a supplement to that
So,
class.
like Linux
'cause
commands?
It's a frustrating class.
Oh, just commands in general?
Well, not even just commands, just the environment
The
itself.
environment itself.
It's a good one.
The
Ethan,
inner workings
I
of
just
it.
want to say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
One thing, we're still, I mean, nothing against you, but we're still in room of what? Two professors, well, one retired professor is still here. Try not to bash classes, like.
I'm not really bashing the class, I'm just saying I have a frustration with it.
I know, but like, don't like say that in front of other professors, because they don't want to hear that about their colleagues, one, that you guys are having crap
they're like, oh, we don't care.
I'll turn off my
You don't mind, right, Joe?
I don't care.
But I mean, it's just one thing, like, you can talk
Try
about
not to do it because it's on video.
and it's on.
That's a better argument,
And then I have to go on and
Thank
you. We can talk about other cool stuff.
Yeah.
I've also looked into a lot of what they even call hacking schools or like boot camps. There's a lot of and it's
Those
a
are
pretty big
expensive.
business now where you know, you go to like this boot camp for like 12 weeks and they have people hire you right out of those boot camps. You know, 1 second. And for the most part, a lot of those guys are teaching web development stuff, and that's how I kind of got into Ruby on Rails. I go, oh, well, if all these guys are making all this money teaching people that stuff, there's a big demand in that market for it, and I probably should learn it. So I think that would be pretty cool if we had someone come and talk about that stuff, like web development with JavaScript and like front end stuff like Angular, Ruby and Ruby on Rails, Python and Django. I think we can get somebody to do like a basic seminar where we learn how to make like a blog or something like that. We can do that in an hour. Yeah.
Do you have something, Christoph?
Yeah, I'm just,
Yeah, go
I just wanna make sure, short code doesn't mean like you're summarizing, you're making the code shorter, or is it program code shorter?
That is called code optimization.
Oh.
Code optimization?
Yeah, it does
It's actually
exactly what it needs to do as fast as possible.
That's interesting. Yeah, he did, yeah.
And also, when you guys start the web development project?
When are we starting?
So Eric and I are gonna get working
Oh,
on that.
this guy?
Yeah.
This guy.
So I have
never knew your
some
name.
really basic, YouTube stuff. I can make a blog and do some associations with stuff like that. And I could like, I don't think we have enough time in our hour meetings, but I can do like a basic little thingy. And it's pretty good. We can do it kind of fast.
The reason I just ask you is, website development is actually one of the arts, okay? So we need to combine actually art side as well as programming side, okay? And also, this is club, so you guys can study CSS, HTML, PHP, JavaScript by yourself. It's okay, but the website development has website development process. We have some steps. First one, we're gonna decide target, okay, audience, okay, who gonna just visit our website. Based on that target, also our design might be different. Then we're gonna just develop the content only site and start to discuss with the actual client. That's why I just asked him, whether he contacted one of the actual guys in the organization or not, okay? Then we just decide what kind of actually artistic one will be added up in our modules, as well as what kind of programming skills we're gonna use, okay? So we have those actual steps. So next meeting, I'm gonna just talk about those things, okay,
Okay.
if you guys want.
Is that?
Okay, yeah, exactly. So you guys actually knows how to develop the website, step by step, okay? Not just the writing the CSS code, HTML code, and, okay?
And to add on to what he's saying, we could also get someone to come down to explain maybe like the gist of the software development cycle, like exactly like back end, front end. What I think that's what you're saying, right? Like the
That's
development, the cycle? No, it's different. Okay, all right, sorry.
That's actually not cycle, that's the development process.
Oh, okay, process.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I was going to say about the bootcamp thing, those are wicked expensive, but on udemy.com, there's a couple people that actually respond, like to some of the instructors, and they teach bootcamps and stuff. One of them, this guy actually responds to. So he might be able to come down, maybe to explain something like about full stack development or something.
Okay.
But we probably have to pay him though.
Anything else?
I was thinking Java 8 came out like recently, and there's some interesting stuff, like new stuff that they introduced that I thought we could go over. Like they,
Java 8, you said?
yeah, like some new like mechanisms you can use in your code, like
Yeah.
streams and
Yeah, strings and yeah, those things, yeah.
They're already
Yeah.
busy working on Java 9 too, like you said, it's gonna be done next year, I believe. They're starting like the finalizing everything.
Okay. Anything else? I know somebody had wrote like 2D game design. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was me. I'm interested
Perfect timing.
in game design, using Unity.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Isn't game design
yeah,
part of
That's my
arts,
personal
too?
interest.
Hmm?
I'm gonna be
Let me see.
studying that
Design part of arts as well.
and making a game by myself. And if you guys want to like help out or then yeah, talk to me.
Okay, awesome.
What's your name?
Todd,
Todd. Okay.
what do you scripted in?
JavaScript.
JavaScript?
Yeah, Unity.
Unity.
Yeah.
Is JavaScript really? Close.
Using JavaScript.
I didn't know that.
I used to use it, so.
Professor Chen knows all. Does everybody know Professor Chen? Yeah? Everybody know Professor Chen? Do you want to add anything at all to the entire group? Any ideas or
Lots of
things you want
things.
to?
Lots of things.
Yeah, we have Unreal.
And I think everybody else should talk. Just very quickly, right, I think removal of officers sounds like not necessary, but a few years back, we did have a problem where the officers decided that they will not admit any new students and as members, and they were going to run everything, and they spent all the money on their own little project. Nobody could get rid of them. So the students wanted to have another club, because they couldn't get into this club, and so they had to invent a club with a different name. It's just ridiculous.
Okay.
So it's useful to have something like that. Also, I'd be happy to help with anything. I think officially I cannot be a member of this club because I'm not a student here. But that doesn't matter, right? I don't have to be a member as long as I can come and just attend, right? I don't think anybody will complain. But I do want to point out, I think Armin, you officially cannot be because you're not a full-time student.
Yes, yeah, I thought about
So
that.
you cannot be an officer.
I was hoping no
I'm
one
not
would
sure we
rule.
want to rule him out. So you may want to pay some attention to that, that's all.
And everybody know Dr. Bob Chan?
Professor Dr. Robert.
Okay.
Do you have any, do you have any specialties in programming, if anything like that? that you
Oh,
want
my
to
special
add?
interest, my PhD is in computer architecture, so I'm very interested in that. And also, one of my major interests is programming languages.
Okay.
So I've worked on that with really world-famous professors and so on. I know something about them. I'm a little bit old, so I'm a little bit ancient on all sorts of things. But I'm also retired, which means I do have extra time. And I love to learn about new things. So for instance, if you want to talk about Java 8, I don't know what's new in Java 8, but I can go look it up, find out, and then because I do have a lot of training in it, I can find out probably quicker and understand better than a lot of people, and I can give you a quick summary, just like a seminar, just like a student in a seminar, a quick summary of what I just learned. I'm no expert in it.
You got 5 minutes, Sharon.
Yeah, okay. I'm pretty much done. You want
Yeah, my
to?
question was, so the Unity for gaming, is it 3D or 2D? How does that work?
It's
2D.
It's 2D?
it's both.
Unity works as 3D. So usually Unity is one of the 3D game engines, but that's free.
Okay,
And so also it's easy to access because they use JavaScript.
yeah, that's nice.
Okay,
That was
yeah.
Okay.
Sounds cool.
Oh, sorry. I used up all my time already, but I still
keep
have
going.
two things. One is
I mean,
about gripes, right?
we can be here till-
Actually, at one of the pizza meetings, Professor Bruning said that I could collect gripes, and I think that's great. If anybody has, complaints about any courses or suggestions, let's put it positively, suggestions for improvement in any courses, right, or in the curriculum, please let me know. And I'd also be happy to keep it confidential if you would prefer it that way. And on the other hand, right, which is the other thing I wanted to say, was it might be useful sometime to have a meeting where maybe the faculty or a faculty representative can talk to the student body about plans within the department for changes. I mean, there are always discussions and plans for changes in the department, and maybe to tell you about them, get your feedback on that. That might be
Sounds
a
pretty
good
smart to
thing
me.
to have. What?
That sounds pretty smart, since we're the people learning.
Yeah,
we should
right.
be
I mean,
part
you
of
ought to
what's
know
being
about
learned.
it, right? Right. But you have to understand also, of course, that a lot of these things are since they're still being discussed. You must be careful that this is not already going to happen necessarily.
Anything else?
I mean, something that I read about, I don't know if it has to do with computer science, it's called 3D Maya or something, like 3D.
Oh, Maya, that's it's designing in 3D.
That's design animation studio.
Yeah, I tried to do that when I was a little kid.
Yeah,
It was really hard. No, that's, I don't know, yeah, that should fit in our process. You guys can come in, do you have class? Oh, okay.
I was wondering something through my.
Yeah, we can add that.
Join the computer science club?
I'll see, why not? You guys come in and say, this is a computer science club, so you guys probably should be in any list.
Got new members.
Otherwise, your professor's gonna give you an F if you don't join.
You can sit down.
You might wanna. So I thought that was
You
pretty
can sit
good.
down, it's
We
fine.
covered a lot. Thanks again for Monica, Armin, and Tim for coming up and talking. And again, anybody, one second, anybody who would really like to be a part of this, I think that it'd be stupid to kind of shun them away and say you didn't win. So I'm gonna talk with them, so if anybody doesn't win or does win, I don't know, we can just make another officer thing. You could be the assistant secretary or whatever. You know what I mean?
Vice president?
Super vice president.
Are you answering to that basically? Are you giving out the polls tonight?
Oh, so yeah, everybody's talked, everybody has the poll information, everybody has the email?
Yeah.
Anybody have the
vote?
one?
Yeah.
Get to
You should
vote?
still send it out again or give
Yeah,
it.
we can send it out, is there anybody in here, has anybody not voted? Okay, so we'll get you the vote poll.
Wait, are you kidding?
I don't have access to the entire computer science club. Professor Bruning has it, and she sent it out. For the sake of time, because we're still not an official club yet, because we don't have, our official paper and stuff like that in, I wanted to close it tonight, so maybe we can postpone it to the morning or something like that.
Let's close this tonight at 10.
That was
Give you
7.
Time to vote.
11:59?
11:59, there you go.
Yeah, that way everybody's out of class.
Yeah, okay, so everybody has enough time to go on their phone. You can literally go on your phone or something like that. I'll send the email out again, hopefully, whatever. You can change your vote too.
You
So
can
if
take,
like, I really don't like that.
Professor Dunn, can you send out the email to everyone? You have that? No, to the CS department, you can't do that?
I don't have that email.
Okay.
I mean, it's been sent out like 3 times.
Yeah,
to the
so
whole
just
thing.
go through
So I think
your
anybody
email.
who hasn't voted yet, I think the only people we're gonna get to vote are people who have voted yet. So if you want to change your vote, somebody really impressed you, you can go ahead and do that. But just for the sake of the club, I'd like to make us be official. And again, we can, mix around officials however we please. You know what I mean? That's just, to have on paper, You guys don't want me to talk anymore? Go have somebody else do it. It's cool. I just really want to learn. And that was my incentive of trying to kind of get this all together and get us all together. You know what I mean? So I really don't care too much about being a loud. So again, thank you guys for doing that. I think that's about it. So I'll get this together because we don't have a secretary yet, and we'll do a poll. And it will also have something where you can add something to the field. So if you can think of anything, and then we'll come back next week That's probably gonna be our biggest thing for next week, so that we can have this set in stone. We can have 2 different speeches if you guys want, or we can have a speech before and then party after, or whatever, I don't know. It's up to you guys, I don't know if you guys wanna listen in.
Well, it's not
3
gonna be
hours.
next week,
Huh?
can't be next week.
Not next week, I mean.
Tim, cool.
Yeah, next meeting I can actually present about GitHub because I have experience using it, so.
Nice.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So we're gonna have Professor Jung wants to talk about the web design process next week. You know, well, we'll talk, and we'll see how much time you need, and then even, you know, Professor Chen, and if he wants to talk about anything.
No hurry.
I would love also for us to get started. I think those smaller projects that we talked about, we should get started on immediately, so maybe I'll send out another poll of that, and I'll have a couple of websites that the officers think that is a good idea, and if you want to add something on there, then cool, and then we'll put that together. And then hopefully by next week we'll have the groups. Wanted to do it today, but we kind of ran out of time. An hour seems like a long time, but it's not. So anything that I missed, any questions at all? Thank you guys for coming again. Great meeting.